Hi, this video shows how to use the direction finding mode in the IDA 2 from Narda. What I have now here is the IDA base unit with some setup that I have already prepared, and we also have the IDA antenna 2 going from 20 MHz to 250 MHz in front of us. In the spectrum we can see some FM signals, the FM frequency broadcasting range, and we can see plenty of signals in the spectrum and the spectrogram. In order to apply the direction finding on one of those channels, I first want to make sure that I tune correctly in. Therefore, I again press my spectrogram marker key and move my key to the signal of interest. This might be, for example, the strongest signal on air or some other signal. Right now I want to move it to some other signal that could be just as interesting, or just to the highest peak again. I want to make sure that I tune into that highest peak by pressing mark to center here, and then I can basically switch off the marker menu again. Based on that, I can of course also decrease the span and slightly enhance the view onto the signal that I'm going to apply the direction finding on. So you can see it once again here with a slightly decreased span. And once again I can also make sure by the spectrum marker only that I tune correctly in by going to marker to center. Switch off the marker menu again like this. Alright, and now we can go to the direction finding mode. In order to maintain the same center frequency, which is displayed here on the bottom, I can now press escape. I press extras, and then I press direction finding or go to direction finding, so that the same center frequency will be the same, or will be used again in that new mode. In the direction finding mode, we can see typically that polar diagram, and also we can see that arrow that is showing us where the antenna is currently aligned. I'm moving the antenna right now, and before starting the horizontal scan, before basically applying the direction finding, we have to make sure two things basically, which are that first we have to adjust the channel bandwidth, the CBW, to the bandwidth of to the right bandwidth. As we're just looking at FM signals, we have now to decrease the bandwidth from 2 MHz to 200 kHz. And now we also have to make sure that all the horizontal scan data will be stored in one file in order to allow the triangulation process later on. Therefore, we have to make sure that this key here, localization, is activated. Of course, now we could type in any name for the data set, but what we have to take care of is that this button here appears in a red color. And now we can basically start that horizontal scan process. We take the antenna, we go back to the horizontal scan, and we start continuous, or the button on the antenna handle. And now I rotate my antenna over a specific sector. I can also rotate it back again, so there is no problem with getting two or more field strength values for a specific area or sector. And we even don't have to rotate the antenna over 360 degrees. Once I want to finish my horizontal scan, I push stop on the base unit or the button on the antenna handle. And then the IDA will find the probably or most likely highest field strength and the corresponding azimuth in that sector that I did the horizontal scan on. Now I want to save the horizontal scan result, and I want to display it on a map. We have now the direction finding result displayed as a straight line we can also see that arrow here that is showing us the current direction of the antenna, and correspondingly with the antenna it's also changing. So once again we see the direction finding result here. We can see that arrow here, and in order to apply the triangulation process or the localization process, we have to add another bearing. So what we do is either we move somewhere else and add that second or third bearing, or we just get a call from a colleague in the field telling us his direction finding result, but also we can simply enter or simulate an additional bearing result by pressing external bearing, where we can change the latitude and longitude information. As I have prepared on that just a little bit, I want to enter now a new latitude that is 48.54929, and I want to enter longitude saying 9.17406, and as azimuth result I want to enter 10 degrees. So I save this result and then I press map, so that both results will be displayed on the map. I can basically move around now in the map. What you can see on the right side is a part of the map that has not been downloaded, which I have not downloaded in the before doing that trial. And well, we can also zoom in again, and by simply pressing average position, the triangulation process will be started, and the IDA 2 calculates where that position is. So it shows us the corresponding GPS position up here. We can also add some more information or work up on the precision or the uncertainty of that triangulation process by making use of the buttons down here. But this is basically how the direction finding in the IDA is working. All right, thanks for attending.